Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be making Khao Piak Sen using two types of flours to make the rice noodle. We're going to make it using rice flour and also tapioca flour. Let's begin. We're going to start off by boiling some hot water. I'm boiling about a liter of hot water. Next up, I'll be using 2 bags of the rice flour and only half of the tapioca flour, just half the bag. So since this is gonna be handmade Khao Piak noodles, we're not using a mixer, but if you have a mixer, it would be very helpful. Once you have your flour combined, you're gonna slowly start adding a ladle of the hot water into the mixture and slowly add the water into there and use a spatula so that the water won't burn your fingers, because that's very important. You want to make sure that you don't burn yourself while you're making noodles. So just start off with slowly adding the water into the mixture and then mixing everything up with your spatula until the flour is cool down enough so that you can knead it with your hand. But I'm gonna be using the spatula as a tool so that I won't burn myself, and then once it cools down, I'll start kneading it with my hand. Once it gets cooled down enough, I'm gonna go ahead and start kneading the dough with my hand. I like to use a spatula when I can to kind of offset the heat because it's still a little bit warm. I'm gonna knead it with my hand, and this is gonna be some work, because you know what, if you want to eat good and you're trying to make homemade noodles, you have to put some effort into it. So I'm gonna knead it into the consistency that I desire, and the consistency that you want for the dough is like, it needs to feel like Play-Doh, and you're gonna start kneading so that you can combine all the flour together to make the dough. If the dough feels still too sticky, what you can do is you can add some of the rice flour. Right now we're going to be adding about a half a cup of rice flour to the dough so that it's not sticky, because once we cut it, we don't want the dough to stick to the knife. So I'm going to continue kneading. And this process is pretty fun. It's like playing with dough, so I actually enjoy it. And the noodles that you get from doing this is so nice and chewy. I love how homemade noodles taste. So now it's time to cut our noodles. I'm going to start by adding some rice flour to the cutting board, and I'm going to cut a piece of the dough off. Now I'm going to start rolling the dough, and you want it thin, not too thick. So I'm going to roll the dough into the desired length and width that I would like. After that, you're gonna start cutting the noodles, and some people like it thin and some people like their noodles thicker. This is how I like my kapiak noodles, but cut your noodles to the width that you desire. Once you're done with cutting the noodles, make sure that you add a little bit of the rice flour on top of the noodles so it prevents the noodles from sticking. Okay, so this is how much noodles we got from those 2 bags of rice flour. So now I'm going to show you guys how to store it if you're not going to make the kapiak all today. I'm going to save about half of the noodles. So I got a plastic bag here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently grab some noodles. So just grab as much noodles as you want to save. And you're going to gently put it in the bag like that. And if you save the noodles like this, these noodles will last about a week in the refrigerator. I don't recommend going past a week and a half without using it. Make sure that you just store it like this and save it for like about a week. I'm gonna add some rice flour in there so it doesn't stick together when it's stored in the refrigerator. So it will just prevent the noodles from sticking. And what you're going to do is you're going to tie it up. And here's your bag of Khao Piak Sen noodles that you could store in the refrigerator. And this will last, like I said, it's good for like a week. Don't go past like a week and a half. Use it within the week. Then you just stick it in your refrigerator, not the freezer, okay? So now it's time to make the kapiak broth. I'm gonna use the pork this time. You can make kapiak with chicken or pork. This time I'm gonna be using pork ribs, and I'm gonna cut up my pork ribs into the desired length that I prefer. Once I have my pork ribs all cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the next item that I need to do, and that would be cutting up the herbs and the ingredients that I'll need for that. I'm gonna cut up some ginger. I'm just slicing up my ginger at this time. Up next is the garlic, and what I'm gonna do with the garlic is I'm gonna mince it. And I'm just gonna coarsely mince this garlic. I'll have the full recipe of the ingredients that I use for my broth listed down below in the description box. So if you're interested, please check that out down there. I'm also gonna start dicing up the fresh ingredients, which is green onion, cilantro, and some lime. That will be for my kapiak at the end, but I'm just prepping it right now. So I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of oil into my pot, and then I'm gonna throw in my garlic. I'm gonna saute my garlic and let it brown for a bit. After that, I will be adding my pork to the mixture. I'm gonna stir to just brown the meat, and then after that I'm adding about a tablespoon of salt, but adjust the amount to your liking. Some people like it saltier, so add more. If you like it less salty, add less. And after that, I'll be adding some black pepper to my mixture. And then after I thoroughly mix everything, sauteing all the ingredients together, I will be adding some water into my pot. And I'm also going to throw in my ginger before I add the water into the mixture.
Yeah, and then you just cover it. Take out the extra oil and everything.
So now it's time to cook our noodles. There's actually two ways to cook the noodles. You can do it this first way by just cooking it in a separate pot. Once the water in the pot comes to a boil, just add your noodles as much as you want to eat. And you're going to stir it up. And once your noodles are ready, you just take that out of the water and put it into your serving bowl. Once you have your noodles in your serving bowl, you're just gonna simply add the broth to it. And then you would just add the condiments to your dish the way you prefer. So this is the first way of cooking the noodles. And now I'm going to show you the second way of serving the noodles, and that would be a more simpler way. That would just be adding the noodles straight into the broth. So just adding it, and this will actually thicken your broth if you cook it in this manner, because once you add like the noodles into your broth, there's still the flour from the noodles on there, so the noodle is gonna help to thicken your broth. And some people like their khao piak thick, so this is another way of cooking your noodles. So once you put your khao piak sen into the broth, go ahead and mix everything up and let it cook. Once your noodles are ready, I'm gonna add some condiments. Here are some condiments that we prepared. I have some cilantro, green onion, and lime. I also have some fried garlic, shallots, and also some black pepper, soy sauce, fish sauce, and some sriracha, and also some chili oil. So I'm gonna add the condiments now. So let's try it out. I'm gonna mix everything. Ooh, our noodles look so good. So I'm gonna mix everything up. Ooh, we did a great job with this. Homemade khao piak noodles. So good. I can't stop eating this. This is so delicious. And this is really easy to make, and you save so much money making it yourself at home. The bags of rice flour was only like a few dollars, but we got so much noodles out of it. We could probably make khao piak for like a couple days with the how much noodles we got out of those rice flour bags. So delicious. I hope you guys try out this recipe. It's really simple to make, and your family will love it, and it's really good for the cool weather like this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe for more videos, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.